Are you considering a move to Idaho but not sure if it's the right state for you? Well, I've lived here for over 30 years and will probably call Idaho home for life. Why is that, you're wondering? Well, keep listening because in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 of the biggest reasons why I love living in Idaho. Number 1, there are endless outdoor activity options. Whether you love winter activities like skiing, snowmobiling, and sledding, or summer activities like camping, boating, fishing, whitewater rafting, or biking, Idaho truly has something to offer for every outdoor enthusiast. I grew up camping all over the state, but most of my time spent outdoors these days is done in the summer in Southwest Idaho near Boise. My family loves boating and paddleboarding on our nearby reservoirs like Lucky Peak and Arrow Rock, which are only a 30-minute drive from Boise. Or, if we want to take the weekend and go a little further, we will head up to Payette Lake in the resort town of McCall, which is just about a 2-hour drive north of Boise. It's my most favorite place in Idaho to rent a cabin, fish, see some wildlife, and enjoy the lake. If you prefer tent camping over a cabin, you can pick from one of the 30 state parks throughout the state, many of which will be next to one of our many gorgeous lakes or rivers. The Boise River in particular flows through Southwest Idaho, and floating the Boise is one of the must-do summer activities on most Boiseans' summer activity list. On that note, floating the Boise River reminds me of my next favorite thing about living in Idaho, and that is the strong sense of community and friendliness that many of our citizens and cities pride themselves in. Despite what you might have heard, Idahoans in general are very warm and welcoming. Even with our tremendous growth over the past few years, many cities still had that small town feel. This is a state where people still talk to each other in lines, let each other out in traffic, and put on fundraisers for local citizens in need. Some of my favorite community events to attend with my family are the local farmers markets in Boise, Meridian, or Eagle, where farmers and artisans come together to sell their food and products, and local musicians play live music. It's one of the best ways to enjoy a summer afternoon while also supporting our local small business owners. The third reason I love living in Idaho is crime, or lack of crime, that is. According to recent stats, Idaho is considered the 5th safest state in America. We have very low violent crime and property crime rates, which means you can actually walk around in most places at night without worrying about your safety. As a parent, there is no better feeling than knowing I can send my kids out to play in our neighborhood without constantly worrying something might happen to them. So you might be wondering, what is the safest city in all of Idaho? According to crime data, that would be Rexburg, found in southeast Idaho. Rexburg is home to Brigham Young University of Idaho, Idaho's largest university, and they like to call themselves America's family community. They also have the youngest demographic of any city in America thanks to the local university. If you want to go to sleep without locking your doors at night, Rexburg, Idaho might be the perfect place for you. My last point, but perhaps one of the most important, is the low cost of living that we enjoy here in Idaho. In 2022, Idaho was ranked the 3rd best state overall to live in for your finances. And that same study showed that Idaho had the lowest utility costs of all the states. And despite the increasing cost of housing, Idaho has one of the higher homeownership rates in the country, ranking 7th overall. More than 71% of our homes are occupied by owners versus renters. As with any state, the specific city you choose to live in will affect how much you spend. So if you are looking for the least expensive areas of Idaho to live in, you'll want to check out smaller cities like Burley or Pocatello, and steer clear of resort towns like Haley and Coeur d'Alene. In the future, I plan to do a detailed video breaking down costs on things like healthcare, childcare, and groceries, so be sure to subscribe and check back for that. Now that you know some of my favorite things about living here, you may also be interested in learning a little more about the lesser-known facts of Idaho. For example, do you know which cult favorite movie was filmed right here with a budget of only $400,000, but that ended up earning tens of millions of dollars? To find out the answer to that, check out my next video, where I'll be covering 10 little-known and sometimes very surprising facts about Idaho. Some of these I bet even the locals don't know. And if you have any questions at all about anything related to real estate in Boise or the Treasure Valley, feel free to leave a comment below this video. Send me an email or give me a call. I can't wait to talk to you more about Idaho.